Welcome back. This first week, what we're going to try to do is to answer a couple of basic questions and introduce some basic principles. The first basic question we need to answer in an economics course is, what is economics? So in order to answer this question, let's try to answer with an application, with a question. Should this class be free? Should we be offering, this is the best way of distributing the limited resource, which in this case is me, right? So let's try to answer this question by comparing three different options, right? This is one way. Let's compare three other ways. So one way of distributing this limited resource, which is me in this case, right? My time is limited. It's only one of me, right? So it's only one person who can give this great economics classes. So one way of distributing this is like my time is going to be given for free for all of you guys, right? So it's me, limited resources given free to all of you, which is kind of the way we're doing it now. All of you not paying any money for taking this class. Now, another way of doing this would be, so that would be one option, right? The one we have right now. Another option would be that instead of just giving my time for free to everyone, I would just simply give my time to whoever pays the most. So I will bid, I will say who wants to pay money or for taking this econ class, and whoever are the people who pay the most, I would just give them my class and give them all my time and personal attention. Right? So it's a bidding option. That will be the second option. Now the third option is, what if I just randomly choose people who apply for the class, and I just generate a random generator that picks randomly from the thousands of people out there who want to take the class, and pick one or two of you, and then I'll give all my time to those two people, or to those three people, or to the one person that is chosen randomly. So we have three ways of choosing. We have the way we have right now, which is my time for free to thousands of you out there. We have the bidding option, in which a couple of you bid, and whoever pays the most, I'll give my time to them, all my personal attention. Or we have the random option, in which we randomly choose from the people who want to take the class, and I give all my time and attention to those one or two people. So I want you to meditate on this, because if you spend some time thinking about this, you will actually be able to understand a lot of what we're going to do afterwards. So what I want you to think about is two things. One, choose the option that you think is the best. And don't be biased. Don't choose the one that are free, right? Really think about the three. And two, think about the pros and cons, the benefits and the costs of each different option. Okay, so let's go over each one. So the one we have right now, what are the benefits of offering my time for free? Well, the benefit is that I'm reaching most of you, right? Anyone who wants to take a class can actually take this class for free. So that's definitely a benefit, right? Because a lot more people are actually going to benefit from knowing economics, and that's a good thing. Now, what are the cons? What are the not so good things? Well, one of the problems is that my time is very limited. It's only 24 hours in a day, and I actually have to sleep and I have to do other things. So, so not everyone is going to get individual attention. In fact, when thousands of students are taking this class, one could make the argument that very little of you, there's going to be very little attention to each individual person. I can probably give you feedback on the discussions and so forth, but my time is going to be limited, so each of you are going to be receiving less individual attention from me. Now, in the second option, the watch and people bid, that doesn't occur, because if I just simply give my time to one or two of you who actually pay me the most, then those one or two people actually get them a lot of individual attention from me. Right? So in that case, they're getting a lot more than each individual you're paying for free. Now, at the same time, when people, the main argument that we could have against that second option is that, well, it might not be fair that only people who can pay are the only ones who can get economics, right? That's a lot of discussions about that, in which only, let's say, rich people will be the only people who would the knowledge of economics. But at the same time, one could make the argument that, well, money is a way of valuing things, and if they're willing to pay more, it means that they value the class, and in that case, that's an efficient allocation. But therefore, what you clearly see that there's differences in the ethics, perhaps, and the efficiency of version 1 versus option 2. Now, how about option 3? I pick people at random. Now, there's no ethical problem, right? Because everyone has the same chance And if the 2 or the 3 people that I choose, they will get a lot of limited individual attention from me, and there's no ethics issue. But there's an efficiency problem, because what if I pick the 2 people who probably are thinking of dropping the class in the first place? Well, that would be very inefficient, right? If I pick at random, I pick John, and I don't pick Sarah, and Sarah was a really dedicated person who she really wanted to take the class. She's going to do all the stuff in the class throughout the 8 weeks. And John really registered at the last minute, and he really is not even sure. If I pick John and I give him a lot of individual attention, in the second week he says, this is not really my thing. I'm going to do something else. Well, that's a waste resource, because I wasted my time on John when Sarah was actually a lot valuing this class a lot more. So we can say that, at least at the outset, we can say that regardless of the ethics, a good efficient allocation will be at least one in which the people who value their class the most actually get the class, right? But the point that I want to make here, I mean, and hopefully this will be one question that I expect you guys to discuss in the discussion forums this week. But regardless of what the main answer is, or which one is the best, what I wanted to demonstrate to you is that there is more than one way of distributing my limited time. If there was only one way of doing it, and there was clear which one was the best, then we wouldn't really need economics. But we need economics because when you have a limited resource, there's always going to be more than one way of distributing that resource amongst people who want it. And economics is the science, or the field of study that's going to tell you, or going to try to illuminate the answer of which one is the best. Now, so you can imagine that every time you have a limited resource, economics will have something to say, because you will have to find a way to distribute those resources, and there's more than one way. And what are which resources are limited? Well, anything. All resources are limited, right? Because when you think about oil, water, but also husbands, wife, relationships, time that you have to study for a class, everything in life, everything that you have to use to produce something is limited. And since it's limited, economics will have something to say about it. Now, one thing that you have to remember of limitation of resources is that even if you can give everyone the same, that is still not necessarily a good option. Suppose that you can break me apart, and you can break apart, there's actually a way to give all of you out there, there's thousands of you out there, right? Suppose that there is a way of cloning myself and give each of you the same amount of individual attention. Would that be a good distribution of the resource? I would still argue that it wouldn't, because there's still different valuations. So it would still be unfair, or let's say inefficient, if, let's say, John and Sarah get exactly the same if Sarah actually values the economic class more. Again, the resource should go to those people who value it the most. So these are this is the problem in economics, right? To achieve that in the best way, and there's definitely many different ways of doing that. So therefore, we need to have an economics field in order to answer that question. And you can apply the same logic to any kind of limited resource you have. Now, the next principle we're going to introduce is the principle of opportunity cost, which is probably the central main principle of economics.
Produced by OCE Atlas Digital Media at the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign.